Been covering a lot that has been ongoing with regards to court cases plus what's happening in Parliament. For now, we're going to be taking you to Milimani Law Courts. We've got our reporter Lennox, who has been following the Tobco and Sarah Wairimu court case. And yes, let's get right to it as he brings us up to speed with what the court has ruled so far with this particular case. Good afternoon to you, Lennox Sengre. What is the latest? And of course, what has the court and the judge been saying?
Well, Shiksha, this morning, Judge, that is Justice Stella Mutuku, has adjourned the plea taking for Sarah Wairimu, who was supposed to be charged with the murder, that is her husband, that is Tob Cohen, who had since been interred at the Jewish cemetery this week. Today, she was supposed to take a plea before Justice Stella Mutuku, but the same failed to take place because Sarah, the prosecution has raised weighty issues, including Catherine Mwaniki saying that the accused plus his lead counsel raised very weighty issues during Cohen's burial, including the contempt of court that barred them really from commenting on this issue. Remember, Sarah Wairimu was quoted and seen really commenting on who really killed her husband at the Jewish cemetery, and also this we saw Murgo, that is Philip Murgo, representing her, really raising weighty issues in contempt to what Justice Jesse Lesit quoted, that no one should comment in this issue because it is still active in court. Even the media was also barred really to comment on this issue in regard to the evidence that will be represented in this court. And also the family lawyer, that is Cliff Ombeta, has also raised a very weighty issue that Murgo, who is representing Sarah Wairimu in this case, is still a state prosecution and hence should be barred really from representing a victim in this case when he is still acting as a state prosecution. Justice Stella Mutuku has given a directive, a ruling in this case, that Catherine Mwaniki go and counter-check and sieve through whether Philip Murgo is still serving as a state prosecution or not. They've been given a timeline that they should serve an affidavit by tomorrow to really ascertain whether he is still a state prosecution or not. This case is coming up next week, Monday, next week, Tuesday the 1st, that is October, when Sarah Wairimu has been directed to come and take plea in the murder charge, where she's being accused, she's also a prime suspect in this case of murdering her husband, that is Tob Cohen, who has since been interred at a Jewish cemetery this week. Also, we have the family lawyer Cliff Ombeta was also saying the state prosecution, Cliff, that is Philip Murgo, had not resigned from his position and hence should also serve them with a notice saying that he is not serving as a state prosecution. Shiksha.
All right, thank you very much for that update, Lennox Sengre from court. And of course, it has been established in a nutshell that Sarah Wairimu will be remanded up to the 1st of October, and that's when she will be taking plea. Well, from Nairobi, we'll be taking you to Nakuru, where we've got our reporter Kigotho Mwangi on standby, and he is covering a story that really does affect a lot of people, not just the normal person, but it is about the deaf. Now, he is at the Ngala School of Deaf in Nakuru, and he's going to be giving us more details with regard to some of the challenges that the deaf face in this particular school in Nakuru. Good afternoon to you once again, Kigotho. Maybe you can tell us more with regard to this particular story and of course some of the challenges that these young men and women face on a day-to-day basis.
Shiksha Arora, the gift of talking, the gift of verbally communicating to people and also communicating to the neighbors and your friends is one of the gifts that people have taken for granted. Their inability to speak has also been taken for disability, yet it is not a disability, it is a gift in disguise. I am joined by Ngala Secondary School for the deaf who are here with me, and they are just like any other normal kid who goes to school. The difference being they are otherwisely abled. They can speak, and in a language you cannot understand. Our sign language interpreter can tell you what they are saying, and currently they are here with me, and also joining me is their head teacher and the principal, and also a PhD student who has decided to take PhD, yet he is deaf too, and he has not taken that as a setback. He has pursued education. We start with the principal. You have been handling these kids for quite a long time, and you have seen them. They are otherwise abled. What are some of the things that you are happy about the kids and the school that you lead? You start with your names. You start with your names. Just start with your names.
Name mine is Pauline Kimani, the principal girls school for the deaf.
We are being told that our mic is not on, so maybe we can check whether. Yes. You're talking about how the school is. You can start afresh, maybe now that my camera person has started to.
Okay. Name mine is Pauline Kimani, the principal, Gala School for the Deaf. I am proud to be heading such a school because I've realized even when our students have a disability of hearing impaired, they are well abled in other areas. For example, our students have been going up to national level for music, for games, and we are very proud of that.
Does that set them back away from the rest of the kids who are otherwise abled? They can be verbally, they can be able to verbally communicate with other people.
That's very true that we have some setbacks as much as we are going to those levels. We have setbacks such as interpretation. Sometimes we want to administer a new game, or even when they are out in the field, at times it is not very easy to have somebody who can interpret and lead the game as it's supposed to be.
Yes. In class and in performance, would you compare these kids with the rest of the kids? Are they capable of performing like any other kid, if given the platform to do so?
We are trying our best to bring our students to the level of the normal or regular students. But we have one setback. Their performance is not as per the regular students. If you look at our the curriculum that we have, it is the same with the regular or normal students, and therefore their performance is low.
Yes.
And this leads to their in future after Form 4, we have a problem of placement.
You have talked about going to the police stations and to report maybe a harassment, maybe an assault or something that is affecting the kids, yet the police have no capacity to translate what you are doing. Is that a setback too?
Sure. When we have cases, especially even to deal with our parents and the society outside, we have a problem of interpreters. They have to come to school, get a teacher, go out and interpret. And this tells us that even when they have a case in court, if they don't have somebody to represent them, the outcome may not be the true outcome.
Yes. Shiksha Arora, allow me to now bring in the prof who is a student and who is deaf. He is going to be speaking to us, but he will have an interpreter who will talk on his behalf. And now joining us is the PhD student. Now he can just start by telling us his names.
My name is Frederick Kangu.
How does being a PhD student help you, and how did you discover that you can go this far?
Now I started my PhD in 2016. I finished classwork and I performed very, very well. Now I'm working on my thesis. Soon I'm finishing.
Yes. Being a professor in this field, you are also a teacher. What inspiration do you have to those people who are looking upon you, maybe to be professors like you are?
Me, I'm motivated to become a professor. Why? Because we have many problems that face deaf in Kenya. Most of these problems, the hearing community do not understand. And maybe they give us wrong answers to the problems. And in this area, I want to help straighten things in my area well.
What are some of the things that you like the Ministry of Education and also stakeholders outside there to help the deaf with, if there is help to come from such people?
We need a lot of support in the area of education, especially in the area of funds. The children who are deaf, sometimes they are poor. They come from poor families. Some even miss fare of coming to school. Then they stay at home. Then the teachers are forced to contribute money to send back home to enable the child come to school. In this area of the school fees, should be well taken care of. That's one area. The second area is the resources for learning. Sometimes the government, it sends books well. The resources, same as books, are not even adequate. We need exposure with the deaf students to know what's happening. It can motivate them to become good scholars.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Shiksha Arora, it's just amazing how these people communicate, how they interact with each other, how they just have to communicate every day. In this school, you can't hear anything, yet there's communication that is going on. Now joining me are some of the students. To just give us a song. I will not be able to sing this song because I don't understand personally, but our sign language interpreter will tell us what will happen in this song. It is just such a love to be interacting with these people and to show them love. Whenever you are, when you are watching K24, if you have the ability to speak, use it well. If you don't have ability to speak, you are otherwise able and you can still communicate with people. My name is Kigodho Mwangi. My camera person is John Wangombe. As we sign off from this area, we say, that means we love you so much.
Dance a little. If you are happy and you know.
Wow.
Dance, dance, dance. If you are happy and you know. Jump, jump, jump. If you are happy and you know.
That's all we have for you, Shiksha Arora, from this area. This is Ngala Secondary School for the Deaf. My name is Kigodho Mwangi. Take you back to you, Shiksha Arora, and Sam Njoroge. It's a wonderful Thursday for us from Nakuru County.
Wow, that was absolutely inspiring from Kigodho. And of course, disability is never inability. And those girls have pretty much displayed that. They've said if you're happy, clap your hands. And it just goes on to show that you can be happy every time in life. You don't need to be able to have a hearing. You don't need to be able to have the other senses. All you need to do is be happy, clap your hands and dance. For now, moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has appealed to United Nations member states to support Kenya's bid for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council during the elections slated for June next year. The president, who thanked the African Union for endorsing Kenya's candidature for the seat, said the bid is motivated by a pursuit for solutions to global challenges. President Kenyatta made the appeal when he addressed the general debate of the 74th United Nations General Assembly in New York on Wednesday, where he said Kenya deserves a seat on the Security Council because of its leading role in regional peace and stability in Eastern Africa, as well as the Horn Africa, in addition to its many years of contributing troops to UN peacekeeping operations across the world. Let's listen in.
You cannot have development without sustainable peace. In the Horn of Africa region, a complexity of factors has in the last 3 or so decades led to multi-layered threats to peace. These are exacerbated by the disruptive effects of climate change, introducing ecological vulnerabilities to a very delicate security context. The ability of terrorist organizations to execute their plans with impunity has introduced another dimension to the security terrain in our region. Mr. President, the commitment to pursue peace and security remains at the core of our foreign policy. And I am pleased to say that combined efforts to advance peace and security in the region continue to bear fruit. I take this opportunity to congratulate the Sudan for coming to a path of sustainable peace, which they negotiated amongst themselves with the help of the African Union. Kenya shares the optimism of the people of the Sudan, and we believe the transitional process will pave the way for democratic elections in 2022. I also warmly commend the role of women of the Sudan for driving and facilitating this most satisfactory and lessons-laden outcome that makes the entire African continent proud. I am also encouraged by progress made in South Sudan. Security has improved with a decrease in violence across the country since the signing of the revitalized peace agreement. And I am convinced the pending issues can be resolved in a consultative and collaborative manner. I commend Dr. Riek Machar for traveling to Juba for the face-to-face meeting with his brother and colleague, President Salva Kiir, to engage on the outstanding issues. Kenya supports the creation of an all-inclusive transitional mechanism and institutions to undertake the required political process and reforms. This will ensure a smooth transition to the next phase of the peace process.
All right, on that note, I'd like to reintroduce my colleague Samuel Njoroge, as he will be taking some feedback and, of course, giving us the latest for now.
Reintroduce. Okay, here I am, and thank you so much for your company and as far as you watching the Daily Brief today. And let's talk about your voice and appreciate it right here on the show by just getting to our social media platforms. And we're right here on Twitter, and we'd like to take Ochi Bella 2. This is in as far as hashtag arrest Kitui governor is concerned. Freedom of speech, it's business as usual, as the governor is only trying to speak on behalf of her people. Let's move on to the next one. And this is by It's Paul Chemrot, who says, I honestly don't know the definition of hate speech, but certainly what Kitui governor said can be equated to hate speech. Thus, I recommend for her immediate arrest. And next we have Nasir Kenya, who says Governor Ngilu inciting her community to attack Somalis is indeed irresponsible and should face consequences of her reckless, hateful utterances. We've got Jaffe FX, I hope I got that right, and you say, I'm not in any way supporting Governor Ngilu utterances, nor do I support violence, but before you arrest Kitui Governor, you need to get facts on the ground. And Asmali 77, if Charity Ngilu used half the energy she uses to incite on development, the poverty-stricken county of Kitui would have been food secure at the very least. Let's take one more here, and this is by 90 Does, who says, while advocating for arrest Kitui Governor, we should also take a look at the other side of the coin and call on government to play their part in protecting every Kenyan. And talking about facts, as highlighted by Asmali 77, it's only proper that we highlight that that clip did not happen in the recent past. It's actually dated to around 2 years ago, and the NCIC, that is National Cohesion and Integration Commission, gave a circular to this effect, saying that investigations are still ongoing. They are currently holding talks with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and they shall give the way forward in as far as that clip is concerned. So it's not something that happened yesterday or the day after, or the day before, I beg your pardon, Shiksha. It is one that happened quite some time ago. Investigations have been underway, and NCIC says that they will be in a position to give direction after consulting the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Brief today. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow.
And I'm Shiksha Arora. The sign language interpreter has been Walter Sewe. But just before we go, we'd like to wish our colleague Sarah Adams a very happy birthday, and we hope she has many more from the entire K24 TV team. Don't go anywhere. She's coming next, and you can also wish her on social media.
That's true. Peace and bliss to you, Sarah Adam. Happy birthday.